Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm here with another review. Today, I am excited to bring to you from the Transformers uh, Platinum series, which is a line of retools and reissues of either older toys or modern toys with new decos that was originally designed for the Asian market but has now found its way into North American stores as a Toys R Us exclusive line. This set I was able to purchase from China, uh, so I'm not 100% sure if this will be released in America. But what we have are the G1 Triple Changers Blitzwing and Astrotrain. Both iconic characters, even though I think Astrotrain might be a little bit better known since it's had a more prevalent role in the cartoon and in the movie. Um, Now, this is kind of interesting. Blitzwing has not been re-released at all in North America, period. It was re-released for the 20th anniversary commemorative box reissues that Takara did almost 15 years ago. And humorously, that version sometimes and often goes for more money than the original toy. Astrotrain um, also was released in that series. Also featured an e-hobby exclusive repaint in its traditional cartoon colors and was re-released in the United States as part of our commemorative reissue line, but only after the line pretty much ran its course at Toys R Us and kind of tanked, and I believe was a KB Toy Store exclusive, but only in its original toy deco. It has never been released, I think, since G1 in its uh, proper animation deco. Let me correct myself. The original toy, I think, was released in a sorta animation deco, while the reissue was the strict Japanese release. The animation proper deco, which was the Japanese eHobby exclusive, has never been released in the United States. Pretty much that whole little preamble was a roundabout way of saying we have some very uniquely colored toys that have made some collectors scratch their heads. Because, especially in the case of Blitzwing, well, how come we're not getting uh, a proper G1 reissue? Well, as was said in an interview during the New York Toy Fair, with the Platinum line, Hasbro is looking to do like bring vintage molds and unique molds to collectors, but in color schemes that would be more palpable to them than a straight reissue. Because apparently collectors, their theory is they already have these toys. Well, I honestly don't know how accurate that is, but regardless, here we are, and well, I mean they're kind of cool, and they do have some unique homages to their color schemes, which I will explain. We're going to start off with Astrotrain right now. I never had an original Astrotrain, so my first experience with this mold was with that commemorative reissue. Um, the color scheme is rather unique. It's basically white with orange accents with hints of blue. Um, in robot mode, it's really only in the legs, but when we get into the various vehicle modes, you'll see it a little more. And it's also worth a mention, there is diecast, like in the legs and stuff. There is a little heft to this. Um, Now, it it was debated for quite a bit where these colors were coming from. At one point, it was assumed that this was an attempt at a re-entry mode type of design, but that would really only work in shuttle mode. The full and proper homage actually comes from Victory, which was discovered by a few people on various message boards. And that homage is of the character Mach Tackle, who you might know as a member of Multiforce who could combine to form Landcross. And as you'll see right over here, looking at Mach Tackle side by side with Astrotrain, you can see the clear homage to this figure. This is very interesting as Multiforce were never released in the United States at all. Really, I only think a couple Micromasters were released from the Victory line. Uh, Very cool, unique figures and just a unique look. Mach, who's the top robot here forming the arms, turns into a space shuttle, while Tackle, forming the legs, and I hope I got that name right, it might be Tacker, the Japanese names are a little iffy, is some sort of off-road vehicle. Not a train, but close enough. I do find it interesting they're using an Autobot on a Decepticon, but whatever. But it is a nice homage since there really aren't that many space shuttles in the Transformers line. One thing I want to show before we get into the transformation is the ingenuity in these early G1 and actually Diaclone molds. The Blitzwing and Astrotrain come from the Diaclone line. As you can see, Astrotrain has relatively short arms that have a difficult time coming around its chest crest. Obviously, on the classics version of this and the various third-party figures, that's been corrected. But one thing the designers did, and at first I thought it was a mistake until I realized what it was doing, the way the fist holes are molded in actually caused the gun to turn slightly, that when the arm is raised, the blaster, instead of facing out at an angle, will actually face forward, as if you're blasting an enemy. That little bit of attention to detail and forethought, very, very nice, and not something you see often in Transformers nowadays. But going into transformation, we're going to go into shuttle mode first. You just want to go ahead, remove the weapon. Unfortunately, there is no storage. You want to bring the arms in and down, as on its little double groove there. It's a double hinge that goes right into the side. Come on up, flip again on a double hinge the booster section, which will come up and over the head. Go ahead, close that fin, bring it back and down so it's sort of sitting on that booster section so it's upright. Now, the one section here that I have a little bit of a problem with are the legs. Very tight slider joints. As you can see, there is already a little blue paint scraping off onto the white, but I always say I'd rather have a tighter joint than a looser joint, especially with these figures. Basically, you just want to collapse them up and in like that. Go ahead, lift these orange flaps, and then bring out the nose cone of the train. Make sure everything's pegged together. And that is on like a little bit of a slider joint that you'll have to flip and push it in. It's hard to explain it, but it's one of those things you'll just have to feel with your hands. And there you go. This is Astrotrain in its shuttle mode. You can see a little bit more of the blue, a little bit more of the orange. Actually, it's the same amount of blue and orange because those were the legs. In fact, there's just only more. Nice, Chuck. Okay, going from shuttle mode to train mode is relatively easy. First, what you want to go ahead and do is fold down the thin chest crest, just like so. There is a sliding track there. You want to make sure it's basically all the way back, and it will stick up just slightly. That won't affect vehicle mode at all. You want to open up these panels again and flip the nose cone of the shuttle back in. You're going to just push it around just like so. Close it back up just like that. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is fold up the wings. Now, I do want to mention on the instructions that come with the set, they show for robot mold folding these tips back. That was not how it was done on the original toy. And even in the animation model, he had the full wings out. So you want to fold these up, peg in nice and neat. Go ahead and flip these little the fin tips down over the top like that. And then you're going to come around on the side here, flip up these side panels. They will, of course, peg into place quite nicely. Turn the vehicle over, folding out these orange side bits that will basically all look like wheels on a train. And here you have Astrotrain in its train mode. And here you can see more of the blue, and now it's more predominantly white. It's a weird looking train, but it's kind of cool because it rolls really well. Blitzwing is very special, as this was the triple changer I had as a kid. My mom bought it for me. Really thought it was cool, and of course it got destroyed in my youth. Now its color scheme is actually homaging a Decepticon. In fact, it's a special Decepticon from the Duocon's flywheels, which will be nowhere because I don't have flywheels. I have the other one, Battle Trap. But flywheels is basically a reddish orange jet with a grayish tan brown tank. And as you'll see, they were able to work the paint out that in each of Blitzwing's modes, uh, the predominant colors are of those respective Duocon vehicles. What's cool with Blitzwing is he comes with two weapons, his laser rifle and scimitar, which are very iconic. And let me just say this now, this is much better than the Generations Voyager class. I actually never got around to opening that guy because I was just so freaking concerned about the shoulders, but this guy can stand. There's actually a couple of engineering bits in transformation, which are kind of cool, which we'll get to right now. Okay, starting off in transformation, we're going to go to jet mode. So first what you want to do, slide the fists in on the tracks, bring down the arms, come in around here, slide up the legs. They will come together on the track and collapse together. It's really nice. Next, what you want to do is go ahead and rotate the arm and shoulder section down, bring it into place. That will reveal the wings. Coming underneath, you want to collapse the turret, slide it back, and rotate it around, just like so. It is on a rotating track and all that stuff. And folding in Blitzwing's head, make sure you slide it back all the way so you can have access to the nose cone of the jet. You're actually not done yet. And this is a little bit of kind of interesting. Go ahead, unpeg the side parts, and you're going to flip these tail fins out. You can press on the edges, and that will flip them out. And then going into tank mode, we'll see how they work with these die-cast tail fins. Yes, like Astrotrain, there is a lot of die-cast here. Just make sure everything's set. You're rotating the vehicle back over. You can come in, bring down the landing gear, which is a little tight. Does not roll, unfortunately. And there you have Blitzwing in its jet mode. Now, the set does include 3 missiles to go into the launchers that are here and here on either side of the vehicle. On the original G1 toy, the spring was removed, but the button to launch them was still included, which helped in removing the missiles from the launcher. That has been completely retooled out of this version of the model, unless I'm missing something. Putting the missiles in and then is easy. Getting them out, very difficult, and I was concerned that I was actually going to break the missile or crack the launcher. My advice, don't bother putting the missiles in. You can't shoot them, and aesthetically, they really don't do much. But here, as you can see, you do have this predominantly reddish look, which, as I mentioned, is the predominant color of Flywheel's jet mode. Now, to go into tank mode, very simple. Go ahead, flip up the landing gear, rotate the nose cone in. Just go ahead and flip the uh, vehicle body over. Unpeg the sides. They're going to peg in up here. Now, what's cool is you're going to come up here, flip down these uh, the tail fins, and in doing so, pushing them down will actually lead you to want to push in like a little like a hinge system the rear tail fins of jet mode. Go ahead, slide the the tank turret back, extend the barrel, and here you have tank mode. Now, in the instructions, they actually show tank mode to have the barrel rotated around and sit back like that. I checked photos, and if you look at the overall curvature of the vehicle, the original toy I've seen, basically the turret is meant to sit like that, and looking at the photos and what have you, I believe this to be the front of the vehicle. It's a little bit cleaner. You don't have the robot head and cockpit sitting out of the back like that. And much like Astrotrain in train mode, this rolls quite nicely and is a fun vehicle. I am really happy to see Hasbro dipping a little deeper into its existing G1 mold well. There are some sets that have been released over and over, like the Insecticons, who are also being re-released. Perceptor, who is also being re-released with Blaster. And of course, the half a dozen Soundwave reissues we've gotten over the years. I hope this set does well, that maybe we can see a second set with a G1 colored Blitzwing and a cartoon accurate Astrotrain. As I said in the beginning, I got these from China, and as of right now, this is where they're being found in stores. The Insecticons have been found in Kmart, and the Conehead jets and Perceptor and Blaster are starting to show up overseas in Hong Kong as well. Um, there's no word if any of those are coming over. I'm pretty sure the Coneheads are, and Blaster and Perceptor. We already know the Insecticons are already here. As I said, they were featured in Kmart. What I'm getting at is I'm having a hard time really trying to think if I can recommend these. In my opinion, Blitzwing is the best toy, is my favorite of the set, and this is probably the best toy I've handled all year. There is a je ne sais quoi missing from modern Transformers, including the Combiner Wars figures, that Blitzwing has. And I think Hasbro needs to find that spark again in their design and creation of figures and molds. This will probably retail around $50 to $100, and at $100, way too much. Don't buy it. $50, I can kind of see it because yeah, these toys weren't even close to $50 together back in the day, but this is a limited reissue with a high-end extensive paint job, stickers applied, tampoed on, good glue and all that, in an exclusive set. So that's going to drive the price up. $50, I'm comfortable recommending it. 35 to 40, definitely must have. With all that said, this is your old pal Chuck for Blitzwing and Astrotrain. We'll see you next time.